So the saga continues.
Okay.
In the realm of rap beefs. So the the latest round of a back and forth with Fifth and Rose. So there was some jabbing going back and forth. Appears at concert. There's a concert out, Millennium Tour Show or something. I don't remember the name of it, but it looks like Omarion, Bow Wow, and like somebody else are like the headliners. And you've got like Rick Ross, small print, special guest, and so on. 50 took that as an opportunity to rib Rick Ross in the fact that he's not even top bill on a concert starring Bow Wow, and so listen, you don't want to laugh, and I'm sure Bow Wow's sitting somewhere going, "Why am I catching strays, dog?" Like,
right. By default, you gotta catch
I ain't even doing that, right? I'm just trying to make some money out here, right? Marion is like, "Yo, you know what I mean? I'm here. Like, why you clowning us?"
That's the same kind of smoke that Kwame faced against with Biggie and all that.
Polka dots, like your shirt,
you know what I'm saying?
like your shirt.
Yeah, exactly. He had to face the smoke by default. It just happens like that sometimes, y'all.
So Fifth came out, was clowning him, and started laughing at him, and the internet laughed along with him. But the bigger question to me is, it did make me think, right? Is Rick Ross's time over? Like, is it over for Rick as we knew Rick, as how Rick Ross was? And this hurts my heart, man, because Rick is one of my favorite rappers. Right?
I like Rick.
There ain't a joint that he gets on that joint don't get better.
I love it. I love it.
Like, as soon as he comes on there, right?
Yeah.
So that's my guy.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Curtis. Fifth, who probably, because I said I like Rick, will probably never get on the podcast. But
no, he's gonna come on.
But I love Fifth. I wish those two could work it out. Honest to God, man, I wish those two could work it out. But anyway, it did make me wonder, man, is that a sign? Whether we agree or not agree, I can't imagine a star, a celebrity, an artist as big as Rick is over the other people on the bill and have such a small placement. It just doesn't make sense unless it's real, unless that is for real. And maybe we just didn't know it. Because why would he or anyone else do something like that?
Well, I'll tell you why. Now, you said it was, what was it, the Millennial? Is that what you call it?
Millennium Tour or something? It's something like that.
So here's the deal. Rick Ross, he's older than they are. Okay, this is a millennial tour. Bow Wow.
Omarion.
Right. They're a younger crew than Rick Ross. It's their era of a tour. So, of course, they are the top billing. Rick Ross is just on that ticket just to appeal to the older folks like you and I. Okay?
Jay, respectfully, I mean...
No. It's a different age thing.
Jay, respectfully.
Right.
I don't mean stepping... I'll say, there's probably older. But the Bow Wows and them dudes in their 40s, man.
Okay.
Right? Rick is like 50, so it's like 50s and 40s. It's essentially the same crowd. You're acting like Bow Wow. Acting like Bow Wow is still little Bow Wow.
No. But I'm saying it's the
Bow Wow's a full-grown dog.
No, but I'm saying they were kids. All of them, Omarion, Bow Wow, all of them, they were kids at that point. So they were kids. It's a Millennium Tour. So they are going to be the top billing. It just makes complete sense to me.
So here's my thing. If that's the case, then why, if that's not Rick Ross's crowd, and this would go for anyone, then why are you on the bill?
You ever been to many concerts where
if you're on the bill,
right?
How come you don't have top billing? You're still the biggest star.
No, it's not your tour. That's not your thing. It's the Millennium Tour. You got to understand that.
Yeah.
That it's their tour. Listen, I've been to many concerts where I've said to myself, well, I wonder why they're hair here? I was like, that don't really make sense, but it was kind of cool. You know, they're still, and they weren't at the top billing. I could see different kind of artists. I knew what kind of tour I was at. I've been to plenty of rap concerts, and you see this R&B singer there, and you're like, what the hell are they doing there? But it's kind of cool, you know, because they're good as well too in their particular genre.
But
so
they weren't. But that R&B singer was that R&B singer.
They weren't top billing, no.
Right. Was there as a star, as a celebrity, was their celebrity bigger than the celebrity of the rap artist?
No, and neither. Yeah, but
right.
No, and neither is Rick Ross, and Rick Ross isn't bigger than that. No, that's your opinion.
That's a fact.
This is a millennium. You don't understand. The people that's going to the Millennium Tour, they're millennials. Okay, they grew up with Lil Bow Wow. They grew up with them, seeing them when he was a little kid. Okay. They're going to the concert to see Bow Wow, and that's what they're going for. And Omarion, they love that dude. That's what they're going for. I was just watching Omarion on Sherry. All the girls was loving him. Right. That's why they're going to that. They're not going for Rick Ross.
But then Rick shouldn't be on it. That's
they're gonna cut him a check. Why wouldn't he be there? And let's get to 50.
There's no bandwidth.
Let's get to 50. We all know how 50 is. Okay, he just loves to just be poking, you know, jabs.
I mean, they poke each other
at but 50 pokes everybody. Everybody. He don't really mean it. That's just something to keep himself relevant and stuff like that.
No, I think he means it with Rick.
He messes with everybody.
He means it with
Rick. Okay, so he means it with everybody then.
Yeah, he means
however
it with
you want to say. Whatever. He's just 50 is just doing 50. That's what he does. I don't really look into any of that. And you're asking the question, do you think is it really over for Rick? Is he's not? No, not at all. I agree with you. I think he's great. I love his music. I don't think it's over for him at all. I just think he's on the wrong ticket. And when I say wrong ticket, I'm not saying that he shouldn't be on there. He should be on this ticket on the Millennium Tour, but he's not the star on this tour. He is not.
I guess also too, think about it this way. He's got small billing on this, right? The whole concert that he put together where he was top billing, where he combined it with the Big Meech thing and had other artists, imploded. They had to shut down that entire thing where he was top billing. Mm-hmm. So that was the other part that I didn't say. Mm-hmm. So you've got a couple of where you're the center, or not the center, or the other concert was, and these things where he is in and around. So to me, it just seemed like because at one moment when you are the top biller on your own concert and you're putting together the show and you're doing this thing with Nietzsche, couldn't sell out any tickets. Then other artists started jumping from it, and it was a colossal failure. Then the next thing you see is you on someone else's tour showing up with like small print on their special guests. Like it just feels like a fall from grace. And I'm not clowning Rose. Like I said, I like him, everything, but it was just so, it was so soon, and you saw it, and it was just like, oh my God, maybe, like, yo, is there something else going on here? Have people kind of somewhat moved on? And then, think of it this way also. Rap, as a rap music artist, incredibly fickle, right? Those that have found a way for us, or meaning as the public, to continue talking about them, were able to successfully diversify, go into something else. The reason why 50 hasn't been a platinum selling artist in God only knows how long, but producing movies and television shows.
Absolutely.
Jay with other brands and other things and so forth and so on.
It was crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Outside of music, Rick hasn't established that yet,
and
right?
He will not.
Well, I don't have a crystal ball.
Well, right? I do, and I don't see it.
He hasn't established that yet. And so with him being about 50 years old, just still focusing on that music, it's not a huge leap to think that it's moved on without him, man. It happens to all of them. It is absolutely, hip hop does not treat its artists like other genres of music, right? We're the old heads, and we call them old school, right? As opposed to classics or pioneers and stuff.
Right.
Like, it even has a funky connotation to it. And so I don't know. It just made me think like, wow, maybe it had, and because I'm such a Rick Ross fan of his music, that I just didn't even know it. And then I started thinking, well, when was the last one? You know, he came out where, he released something where it was like incredible and it was sold a lot. And I was like, oh shit, maybe he is kind of, So I guess that was my point too.
Yeah, I saw him at the Rock the Bells concert. I think it was last year. He came out and he did his thing. He was great and the crowd was going crazy. I mean, people really felt him. Like, and I love his music. Him, Fat Joe. L was out there. I mean, these are the rappers that are still doing their thing. And to your point, as you're saying, for these people, the rappers, to make sure they have longevity in this career, they have to diversify their portfolio. I just don't see, and some rappers have done it great, right? 50 has done a great job at it. Jay has done a great job. LL Cool J has been in this industry forever. Like those kind of people, they have that longevity and that staying power because they were able to diversify a bit. I just don't see that with him at this point because I don't know how much of a great businessman Rick is. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it. Whereas the others that we were just talking about, they're great in
their business. He's the biggest boss.
Well, he's the biggest boss. Rick Ross the boss. I mean, well, he might be his own boss, but he ain't a boss of nobody else. But the thing is, I think he's a great artist. I just think that he doesn't have that. Maybe he doesn't have that look. He doesn't have that charisma about him. He doesn't have he just doesn't have it. We were talking about the other day. He doesn't have it to be able to.
But it could be. It doesn't necessarily have to be him as a pitch man. Where's the requisite alcohol company? The Jay-Z Ace of Spades, the Puff. The Puff Ciroc, like there's like
he's never been that artist.
You can do that. You don't have to be a pitchman. Like he could. It's just interesting. It just really made me. It was one thing that Fifth did, and kind of jabbing. But as we typically do, I saw a story behind the obvious,
right?
And it did make me wonder. Wow, is he like has it moved on? Has the industry, have things moved on from Rose? And we just didn't even realize it, right? Like he's just, he's beefing with someone who doesn't even do music. Like, you know what I mean? Like Fifth doesn't even do music, so you can't you can't even do a rap battle, right?
Well, right. Because Fifth would never do it.
He was. They were doing it. I mean, this is something that's been going on
for years, right?
But my point is, it's to the point where you're literally beefing with someone. Rappers are beefing as a rapper. You're beefing with someone who doesn't even make music anymore. He's transitioned to a whole nother area, doing something totally different, and you're still over there with that. It's just interesting.
Well, it's 50 who started it, obviously, because that's just what 50 does.
Well, right? Like it goes way back to that. I can't remember even who started it.
Yeah, I know, but they're old men now, bro. They're old men. Nobody even cares about them anymore. I think when I say care about them, I'm talking about
people definitely care.
No. I'm talking about people like that's in the social media world and stuff like that. Like these younger folks, these are old men. 50 is just 50 people. I mean, in terms of his, I'm not talking about his music. His music is great. We both say his music is great.
But people talking about the beef. What are you talking about?
It's like
because you're.
It's fake beef. It's fake beef. It's not real. Listen. I don't when you compare the two beefs that Drake just went through with Kendrick. Like I feel like that was like some real beef. This is like nonsense. People laugh at. People know 50 is just 50. Don't take him serious like that.
No,
they really don't.
I think it is more serious than that. I think there's and why it is because there's a genuine dislike between the two men. There's a genuine dislike between the camps. So it can't be fake or not real when they're both when they really genuinely dislike each other, and both camps are known for having wet men. Wet workers, right? So you can't just poo-poo that away. And Lord knows, I hope it never gets to that point. But I'm not like you in that it's like, oh, there's nothing to see here. Like
I'm just saying the point where you're just bringing up that he's not top billing. That's just stupid. That to me, that's not a real even thing to bring up. So that's why I say he's just picking straws. Like, oh, you weren't top billing on the Millennial Tour. That's just dumb. That's just stupid. It's just dumb how he started that. It's my opinion, but.